Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to another review. And after having previously reviewed the Spectrum and Amstrad CPC versions of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, now I'm looking at the port that was done for the Commodore 64, unfortunately by Tiertex and under the production of US Gold, which I can't say I'm that thrilled about, but the Tiertex thing worries me more than anything because Tiertex are renowned for making, having made some pretty, unremarkable titles. Well, this is not. Well, this is not a Spectrum port, I suppose. The map's quite different to what for the other versions, though. And there's one thing that bothers me about. You may remember you couldn't jump over these barrels in the other two versions I reviewed as well. The problem is here they look like they're in the background. Right, I've got 5 and what? I clearly whipped him. Oh, for God's sake. Even though this is faster than the Amstrad CPC version and possibly even faster than the Spectrum version, Indy still seems to be walking with a little bit of a limp. So how hard is it to get his walk cycle right? Played 3 versions, and 2 versions were identical to one another. What? Since when did those guys throw axes? I'm sure they had guns in the original film, not axes. Which would explain why they had guns in the... What's that sound? What? Dear God, I hit him first time. The hit detection with that whip is absolutely pants. Ugh. You sod. What? Good God, that nearly got me. Oh, for crying out loud. So you have to be right on the tip of these ropes, otherwise you're going to bash your head against the ceiling. Good Lord. Another thing I don't like about this version compared to the others is you don't know which... Whereas you had a clue as to where stalactites were going to fall in the Spectrum and Amstrad versions, you don't get that in this. It's completely random. What? Pick it up! Thank you! Oh my God, look how crap that graphic is of that guy going up and down the rope. What? Oh my God, the hit detection in this version is pretty piss poor. Now I've got to wait for that divvy to come down and then go back up there because I've got no idea where he is on that rope and my torch is about to run out. Actually, I just noticed something, even though the game itself isn't a Spectrum port, that bottom section's clearly... What? How can you die just by a torch going out? How does that make any sense? Oh my God. When did those guys ever have axes in the film? Did Tiertex even watch the film when they made this version? Or did they just actually set out to try and make a game as shite as possible? Oh, great, that took nearly all of my energy. Or at least I've reached the checkpoint. And those stalactites are pretty embarrassingly bad graphics for the Commodore 64 as well. Ugh, goodness me. Do you know what? This is actually the best looking out of the 3 versions I've played, and yet, as gameplay wise, it's the one that's frustrated me the most. Look at that. That is absolutely ghastly. Pig, get on the bloody rope, you dinkler. No, sugar! No, no, no! God. See, look how close these guys are to each other! Absolutely stupid. Oh, goodness me. Oh, for 5 minutes! I get bloody shot by a guy who I couldn't even see because he was off screen. That was so cheap. Oh, God. I'm getting really pissed off now. And as I write this, John Gage had just done his own review of the Amstrad CPC version and got really angry at that. God, I dread to think what he'd make of this version. It may look a lot better than those other versions, but this is by far the most annoying of the 3. See, look how close I am to the top of the screen. Oh, for 5 minutes! Oh. Place him more centrally. God, Teartex couldn't design a game properly if the instructions to make a decent playable game came up and bit them on the bum. Oh God, sorry, I'm just getting really angry now. I mean, he's got nonsense like, oh, get on, even jumping. Oh, for God alive! See, those projectiles are so fast, and it's coming from someone who's off screen. You shouldn't have that kind of thing. It's cheaper than a Poundland purse. Oh God, this is really making me angry. And I've got to wait for pillock features because I'm worried if I get on the rope again, he'll be just above my head because this guy's so close to the ceiling when he blooming scrolls upwards. Oh, sugar. See, look how close I am to the top of the screen. I nearly walked straight into that guy's shoes. And those graphics for those guys are absolutely crap. And that sound effect for going up and shimmying up and down ropes is pretty crap as well. Oh, this is that bit where that guy, that dickhead from off screen shot me. Oh, you absolute bastard! Oh my God, and I got hit by a guy. Oh, for 5 minutes. Oh, God. I tell you what, John. I saw your review that you did earlier today of this CPC version. As slow as it is and as pissed off as you were that it was a Spectrum port, I think you'd find that was an absolute blessing compared to this crappy version. This may be the best looking and fastest version of the 3, but it's the most frustrating version to play because of absolutely abysmal game mechanics, bad hit detection, and cheap tactics like getting killed by someone who throws a projectile from off screen, so you don't even know they're there until it's too late, and by the time you realise that the projectile's heading for you, it's so fast it's already hit you. So I am not going to give this a very good score at all. This was absolutely insanely unfair. Graphics, fairly well animated, although Indy still walks with a tiny bit of a limp in this version. Colourful, fast, and if it wasn't for that slight limpy animation, it'd be well animated. Because apart from that, the animation's quite smooth. Sound. Well, you got this Sid Chip version of John Williams' theme tune, and otherwise the sound effects are just as sparse as in the other two versions I've played. Even some of these sounds are pretty disappointing. Sorry, I just started the game again, so I didn't have to talk over that music. And I don't like the way stalactites can just appear out of nowhere the way they do. I mean, it makes no sense. I mean, in the other two versions, once a stalactite had fallen, that was it. It couldn't fall from there again. But it just makes up all the rules that goes along in this. As you saw earlier, I even had 2 stalactites fall from exactly the same position. And gameplay. Well, for starters, as you saw then just happen, how does it make any sense that you die just because your torch has gone out? Yes, you'd be fumbling around in the dark, but it wouldn't necessarily kill you. And the idea that you can not have moved at all and you die just because your torch has run out is ridiculous. It makes no sense. And the game is absolutely riddled with poor design, such as that bit near the bottom where I had to be right at the very bottom of the ropes in order to not bang my head on the ceiling as I jumped from one to the next. And of course, the projectiles from the enemies are so fast you barely get a chance to avoid them, and and it's very easy to die because someone either throws an axe or fires a gun that was off screen, and you didn't even know they were there until the projectile's already practically hit you, or actually has hit you, as in the case of the first time when I got shot by that guy's gun. And it still makes no sense that you have a whip that can only be used 5 times. I mean, it's not got ammunition, so how come you can only use it 5 times? It makes no sense. If it were a gun, then maybe I could have accepted that, but it's not. It's a whip, which doesn't involve ammunition. Oh, God. And why do you have to be so close to the edges of the screen when you're shimmying up and down ropes? I mean, as you saw, I actually hit someone's size 11s because of that, and that was enough to kill me and send me hurtling down to the bottom of the cavern. And those enemies on the ropes look shit anyway, and were embarrassingly animated with 2-frame animations. This is a Commodore 64, for God's sake. They could have done better than that. So I'm really not that impressed with this version at all. I think I'm going to give the Commodore 64 version of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade 4 out of 10. It is so utterly irritating and frustrating that even the graphics and that brilliant music in the menu screens is not enough to save it. So I hope you enjoyed that review. Catch you on another one soon. Texie88 out.